Today, we are rebuilding the Golden State Warriors. Now, this team started the season pretty hot. They've lost 4 straight as I'm recording this, but I feel like this team is in a very weird spot. Last season, obviously, very disappointing, losing in the play-in game. Champions only a few seasons ago, but I do feel like the NBA, in a way, has kind of passed the Warriors by. When the Warriors won a lot of their championships, there was legitimately no good centers in the NBA. If you think I'm kidding, DeAndre Jordan was all-NBA first team one of those years. Since then, we've had the return of the big man. Lakers in 2020, Anthony Davis. Bucks in 21 with Giannis. Warriors did win in 22. They played the Celtics, who didn't play big. They played the Mavs in the conference finals, didn't play big. Jokic's Nuggets were all injured that year. Not to take away from their championship, but for a team to win with a construction, with a 6'9 center, a 6'9 center, and a 6'6 power forward that they play at center, it's tough. It's just tough in the way the NBA is trending, where the bigs are important again. Our goal for today is to get Stephen Curry one more championship, and if not, try to rebuild the Warriors into a new powerful championship contender. So off the jump, I want to try to move on from Andrew Wiggins. I just feel like he's a little overpaid at what he's at right now. Plus, I actually like Jonathan Kuminga a lot. I think this guy has a lot of potential. I'm gonna see if we can package him with Kevon Looney, who, you know, I actually really like Kevon Looney. I think the guy's an incredible rebounder, but I just want some more size. All right, so I'm gonna trade Andrew Wiggins and Kevon Looney and a first-round pick for Walker Kessler and John Collins, who it seems like the Hawks wanted to get rid of this guy forever. It feels like, you know, he's kind of found a home on the Jazz, but I think the Jazz don't want to be paying that $26 million player option next year. I'll figure out what to do with him later. So that means I am now going to be starting Kuminga at the 3, Draymond at the 4, Kessler at the 5. Now, the problem is Draymond, you know, the shooting, the spacing, a little weird. We're going to try to make it work. That does let me bring Collins, Moody, Melton off the bench. I feel like I've got my center of the future. I've got my small forward of the future, and we can still build around Curry. I'm also going to have us play through Steph Curry instead of kind of the more traditional Warriors central. Now, I usually build more slow-paced teams, but obviously that's just not the Warriors play style. It's going to change with how I'm trying to go up in size, but we'll see what happens. We're going to go to January 30th, see how the team is meshing, maybe see if we can make some adjustments from there. All right, so on January 30th, we are 28-19. Not bad. Puts us 4th in the West, tied with the Nuggets. Pretty far behind the Dallas Mavericks. Kind of middle of the road offensively and defensively. So as it stands right now, we're pretty decent when Curry's on the court, and we're kind of not quite as good when some of these other guys are on the court. All right, before I do anything else, I'm just going to re-sign Jonathan Kuminga to a contract extension before free agency, and we're going to get him on a decent deal, $28 million per year. My question is, where do I go from here if I really want to improve the team for the future? I have a lot of guys that I kind of think are keepers. Draymond to me is like the odd man out. Obviously John Collins as well. I don't really plan on these guys being a big part of my future, but I'm gonna go to the trade deadline, which is only a couple weeks ahead, and see where that takes me. 3 straight wins. Now we're 3rd in the conference. All right, we're going to keep Draymond around. I got to find a Collins trade, that's some sort of flip for Collins. And I don't mind Zach LaVine. I'd have to give up Anthony Melton, but honestly, that's okay. The Bulls, I mean, this is a big contract to take on Zach LaVine, but man, Zach LaVine in our spacing situation with the driving lanes he'd get would be pretty nice. Yeah, I'm going to make this trade for LaVine, man. Bulls are going to get a veteran from us in Melton who can play. Collins is a guy who they can salary dump faster than LaVine's going to crack up their books, and Duarte's kind of a nothing, so it's a big risky trade on our part, but I feel like we're going to need to take a risk if we want to win the title here. I'm going to try LaVine in the starting lineup because I just feel like this LaVine Kuminga two-headed athletic monster with Curry spacing is going to be pretty good, and we're not going to have to be so Curry centric, which I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. So I'm going to try to make us play more of a neutral offensive system. Let's go through the end of the year, see how the team looks. I think the LaVine offense should be pretty dynamic. Of course, we lose to the Bulls, the Bucks, and the Mavs 3 straight losses with LaVine. Man, that Mavs matchup is not looking good for us. They have crushed us every single game we have played them. Of course, Luka's the MVP, McCain the Rookie of the Year, Mavs with 62-20. Steph was All-NBA third team. We ended as the 4 seed, unfortunately. Clean 52 wins, so 10 games back from the Mavs. Our point differential actually did get better from the last time I checked. So in round 1, we've got those nasty San Antonio Spurs. Wemby, Chris Paul. All right, I feel pretty good about this matchup for us. A little nervous just because Wemby is a bit of a mismatch, but I feel like Walker Kessler is kind of a good buffer for us. It's 1-1 now in San Antonio. We're up 2-1, 3-1 us, and okay, 3-2 us, and 3-3 us, and it is now, oh, it's game 7. All right, here we go. Game 7 at home. We cannot lose. This will be a bad loss for the Warriors. We lose the first quarter by 16 points. Good second quarter. We retake the lead in the third. That Warriors third quarter magic, and it looks like we're going to pull away. Okay, we've got the Dallas Mavericks. They got that Lively, Kyrie, Luka. I don't think this is as bad for us as it may seem, to be honest. Let's get a little weird with the game plan. Draymond Green on Luka. We are missing that like really good second perimeter defender. Like that's definitely the big flaw with this team, which means I'm going to have to put Kuminga on Kyrie. Let's see if this game plan works. They win game 1, but only by 3 in Dallas. Come on. Okay, they won game 2 by 12. They won game 3. Okay. Looks like we're going to get swept. Yep, we got swept. Damn. 2 of the games were close. 2 of the games were blowouts. Mavericks versus Raptors in the finals somehow, and the Mavericks sweep them. Okay, that Mavs team is going to be unstoppable, I guess. And Rockets end up with the number 2 pick in a pretty loaded draft. That's kind of scary. Sadly, we gave our draft pick to the Jazz, so we are not picking. So I don't really have to do too much here. I didn't even play Gary Payton at all. Just feel like his offense is a little lacking. Definitely need another perimeter guy on this team. That is for sure. Because Draymond is kind of in a weird spot where I can't really trade him. We need him. We need his defense. In the meantime, I'm going to be trading Pajemski for 2 first-round picks. Bolster that. All right, so after that first year, Kessler got better. Kuminga got better. Draymond is showing his age, as is Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield's 32 years old. But the good news for me is Curry and LaVine are still looking pretty good. So right now, I've got this team. I've got Curry, LaVine, Kuminga, Draymond Green, and Walker Kessler. Should be a decent defense, not the greatest defense. Off the bench, I got Buddy Hield, Moses Moody, Trace Jackson Davis, and Gary Payton. I feel like the way I've constructed this team, we don't quite need Buddy Hield as much, but I'm wondering if there's some way we can get more value. I think Moody's the more valuable player, but he's definitely the one I'd want to keep. I just kind of feel like I have to check the market to see if there's some sort of upgrade we can get somehow here. So Herb Jones has 95 perimeter defense. I just feel like that skill set's a little bit more important to what I need than Moody. And I think Herb is a better offensive player than Gary Payton, who I know is sitting on our bench. Low-key don't need Gary Payton, and I feel like Trace Jackson Davis is more of a player made for the current version of the Warriors and the version of the Warriors that I'm building. It's been rumored the Knicks have been trying to move on from Mitchell Robinson since the Cat trade, which I don't quite understand for the Knicks, but if that's the case, then I will take on Mitchell Robinson. I think he's more of a win-now player. Jackson Davis is a 77 overall, 25 years old. I mean, I'm basically the hope is that he would become Mitchell Robinson, and it's not even a guarantee. So we're going to make this trade. I feel like Mitchell Robinson is a better guy off the bench for me. All right, so now I've got my squad. I'm playing a 9-man rotation with Gary Payton getting some minutes. I don't know if that's going to last, but for now, we'll run it like that. A lot of little changes, not a lot of big changes, just little changes. Let's go to January 1st of this season and see how we're doing. All right, we're 26-7, so we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. We even beat the Mavericks, who are the 1 seed. We're 1-1 against the Mavs. We have a 15-point differential. We are just killing teams. An amazing defense, only allowing 98 a game. 4th on offense. I mean, I'll take that. Herb Jones is our plus-minus demon. We're outscoring teams by 10 points per game when this guy's in. LaVine is a bit lower, which I'm a little worried about, but still an amazing number. I like what I'm seeing. I kind of want to try to start Herb Jones instead of Kuminga and just see how that is for us too. We're going to go to the trade deadline. I don't think we're going to make any trades. I actually really like the team. Just trying to see if that Herb Jones in the starting lineup is going to make us even better. I kind of feel like it might. All right, 40-11. I mean, pretty much the same. We're basically pacing with the Mavs. I would love to overtake the Mavs. Doncic with another MVP. Cooper Flagg, the rookie of the year for the Jazz. Steph Curry on that All-NBA first team. Our boy Steph averaged 33 points a game on this team, shot the ball well, and Walker Kessler made a defensive team, so we like that. We went 63-19, a pretty damn good season. Mavericks ended up with the 1 seed. They went 3-1 against us, and they bested us by 3 games. Now, we've got the Timberwolves here in round 1. I'm not going to lie. During the simulation, I noticed the T-Wolves kind of whooped our ass a bunch of times in the regular season, so I'm hoping we don't get a continuation of that here. I just like that on this year's team, I can just throw that man Herb Jones on pretty much the other team's best player, in this case Anthony Edwards, and not have to, you know, be afraid. All right, so game 1 we take in a blowout We also win game 2. This is looking good for us. 2-1. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. It's 3-1. The Warriors don't like being up 3-1, but we get it that time. All right, the San Antonio Spurs here in year 2. They've got the same lineup, except they're starting Stephon Castle instead of Chris Paul. Again, I think our team is in a pretty good spot here. With Herb Jones, I think we can just lock up Devin Vassell, who is their second leading scorer. Victor's going to be tough. All right, the Spurs took us to 6 last year. Let's hope we can do better this year. We're up 1-0. We're up 2-0. We made a pretty strong game plan, though, this year. Last year, we didn't really make a game plan. All right, we've got these Dallas Mavericks. I feel like if we can win this series, we can win the whole thing. We are going to be guarding Luka with Herb. I don't really have a great option for Kyrie. I am going to have to guard Kyrie with Steph, which, you know, gone Steph's way in terms of outcome of game, but I do feel like Kyrie kind of torches him quite a bit. All right, help defense is going to be at a premium here. Should we play through Steph? I feel like we should play through Steph here. All right, here we go. I am nervous for this series. Game 1, they take it by 9 points. Doncic torched us. Irving torched us. Curry with 42. Honestly, our team didn't play too bad. Draymond 2 of 8. Buddy Hield 1 of 8. Kind of hurts. Walker Kessler only taking 2 shots. Don't like that. Game 2 in Dallas. We take game 2 in Dallas. All right, it's a series. Game 3, they clobber us. Curry's playing well. LaVine played okay. I mean, we just need more shots from some of these guys. No free throws. We are barely taking any free throws. Let's go play more of a neutral offense. Game 4, they take... God dang, this Mavs team is good. They 4-1 us, so at least we didn't get swept. But, man, it's hard to picture us beating this team. Luka Doncic is just annihilating us. And they win the championship. All right. And Stephen Curry retired. Steph, why? Steph, why? We're right there. We are right there. All right, this is going to completely change where we're going with this rebuild now. And the Spurs have the 3rd pick in this draft. My goodness. We have the 29th pick. We did some win now moves that season. Dang. All right, I'm going to draft Junior Harden. 29th pick in the draft. You never know what you're going to get with that. Do not like the Spurs drafting a 78 overall 19-year-old. That scares me. All right, so Zach LaVine opted back in. I don't feel like Draymond's doing much for us at this point. Honestly, we got to shed LaVine's contract. I mean, the Clippers are interested in picking up a draft pick for a little swap since they're not going anywhere, and we get Chris Dunn. I mean, Kawhi's definitely going to decline. I don't know. I don't feel like Kawhi's the guy who's going to do this for us. All right, the Thunder got 2 guys who cannot get PT on their team, Nolan Troy and Nikola Topic. No PT on a team with Shea, J-Dub, and a bunch of stacked players, so I'm going to trade LaVine and Hield to them. I'm going to renounce my rights to these players, including Mitchell Robinson. Kevin Durant is a free agent. I'm going to go after him. I'm not done trying to contend. And I got Kevin Durant to agree to come back to Golden State. Now I need to re-sign Mitchell Robinson to come off the bench. M-Rob, how about a little 2-year deal, 15.5. All right, Walker Kessler and M-Rob are my boys now. I'm going to try to bring in Kevin Huerter as well. Little 2-year deal. So a flurry of moves in a very strange team headlined by Kevin Durant, Herb Jones, Kuminga, Nolan Troy. I don't know how to say his name. He's from France. Mitchell Robinson, Nikola Topic. A lot of interesting talent on this team. I want to bring in a backup center of some kind, someone with size. Marvin Bagley is not good, but for a 1-year deal, whatever. All right, so this year, I don't know where the team's going. I got Nolan Troyer. Sorry, I don't know how to say his name. For those of you who don't know, this guy is a French player. He's supposed to go top 5 in the upcoming NBA draft in real life. We got Herb Jones, Jonathan Kuminga, Kevin Durant, Mitchell Robinson, because we lost Kessler. Off the bench, I got Nikola Topic. I think this guy is going to be pretty good whenever he gets back healthy in real life. Bagley, who I don't like. Herter and Catchings. I mean, the bench is bad. The team is in a weird spot. I have this Hornets pick, I have the Mavericks pick, and I have my own pick in this draft. That'll be nice, but I don't, you know, what is our timeline? Let's go to the trade deadline all the way. I have no idea how this team is going to perform. Honestly, I think there's a chance we might be okay. We still have a lot of shooting. We've got young guards who can get to the rim, but I don't know. I don't like what I'm seeing early on here, but you know what? It's fine. All right, at the trade deadline, 28-23, a glorified play-in team. Mavs are the #1 team again. I don't know how I'm going to crack that Mavs team. Charlotte's bad, so their pick will probably convey because it's only top 5 protected, but I don't know where that's going to get me. Problem with our team this year is our bench is killing us. The real question is, like, how can I bring in some bench talent So it looks like GG Jackson's development is kind of stunted on this Grizzlies team. I'm going to make a trade for him with that Hornets pick, which should probably be like the 8th pick in the draft. I feel like getting GG Jackson would be a great use of that draft pick. I've also got my pick and the Mavericks pick. I don't think those are going to go anywhere. So that GG Jackson trade helped me with getting a 6-man, and now I got him, Topic, Herter, Bagley off the bench. I mean, it's still not a great bench. There are some huge upcoming players in free agency, and I'm wondering if the real best move for me is to try to build around one of those people. The KD contract I am stuck with because I idiotically did not team option it. So how can I get off this KD contract? Is it possible for me to get off this KD contract? I feel like free agency is going to be the only way I can really succeed here, because I will take an expiring to make this KD trade work. I'm going to have to re-sign GG Jackson and Herb Jones, which will make a free agency play a little tricky. I'm going to try to trade Durant for Leonard straight up to get a first-round pick on top of that and get the expiring contract. They're not interested. Yeah, I just want to get off that Durant contract so I can be involved with these free agents that I think are going to be a little bit more impactful. Let's just go to the end of the regular season. I think this season is going to be a wash, so we'll just sim through it very quickly. Cunningham won the MVP award. We ended up being the 7th seed, so that actually ended up being the 6th seed. So that KD trade didn't matter. Obviously, we weren't going to win this year. It's fine. And the Pistons won the championship. So the Mavericks' reign of terror might be over, but it might mean the Thunder's has just begun, which is maybe even scarier. All right, we got the pick 29. We got pick 23. We drafted Cody Baldwin and Trey Ellis. We're going to bring back Nolan Troyer, Nikola Topic, extending a qualifier off to Cannon Catchings, our young player we drafted a couple years ago. Okay, we're offering Jokic everything we can. Also Giannis. I mean, I feel like building around one of these guys is really our only chance, and I got to give them the no trade, the player option. And Nikola Jokic agrees to come. That sounded weird, but yes, Jokic, our man. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to lose Herb Jones, who is my big prize, and Marvin Bagley, one of our bench players. That's okay. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to re-sign GG Jackson to a big contract. I might just have to do that qualifying offer. So I'm not gonna be able to bring back GG Jackson. I'm gonna try to bring in Chris Dunn as a bench player. I'm worried that Chris Dunn is going to fall off a cliff when player progression hits, but he has good perimeter defense, which I feel like I've been needing this whole rebuild. And I'm going to try to bring in Karis LeVert. Same thing. Not in love with Karis LeVert, but maybe just some bench depth around Yoki. All right, so Troyer is up. Kuminga is Kuminga. Topic is up. Dunn and LeVert. Herter somehow got better. I mean, the roster's all right. I think there's a world where we can trade Topic to get depth around Jokic. Our bench is bad. Our lineup right now is kind of wonky. Kuminga has not been getting it done for us. He has not really developed. Holy shit. Tyrese Maxey. Oh my god. So this is a crazy trade. Maxey, I could play with Troyer, but then we're going to have no depth. I feel like it's worth it for a guy like Maxey. This rebuild is getting off the rails quick. Kind of feel like the team might be decent though if I can just get someone to play power forward for me. Can I get a power forward on the roster? Don't really have any draft capital, but I can do this little Herter draft pick Murray swap, kind of like. There's all these guys who are just not even playing and none of them want to sign with me. All right, I'm going to trade Mitchell Robinson and Cody Baldwin, the guy we just drafted, for Carter Bryant, a young player on the Nets, and Nick Richards, an aging center, just to get some more depth. So that gives me a starting unit of Maxey, Troyer, Murray, Carter Bryant, and Jokic. And then off the bench, I got Chris Dunn, Nick Richards, and LeVert. I hate my bench. I think my starting lineup should be decent. I don't think this is the year we contend. I think it's going to be next year. So I'm just going to go to February 1st. Maybe we make some trades if the team is looking way more promising than we thought, but this is the team for now. Yeah, here's me just yelling into the camera thinking I was recording, but I wasn't. 34-16 on that day, not bad. Far behind the Wolves and the Kings, and the rest of the team is only getting. All right, so next season they only have to bring back Murray. All right, so at that trade deadline, we were pretty good. My OBS stopped for some reason, but we're back. Guys, we won an additional something games. We've actually been really good post-trade deadlines. I decided not to make a move because I think the team is going to be pretty good. Basically, the gist is I only have one guy to re-sign, and we're actually going to have some cap space. So I think in the offseason, we'll be able to bring somebody in on a mid-level exception if we're not outright competing for the NBA championship right now, because we're the 1 seed and we're first in the power rankings. Jokic MVP playing for our Warriors. That feels weird to say after we tried to rebuild around Curry this whole time. Doncic is on the Kings, that mother trucker. All right, round 1, the Clippers, who we made that weird trade with. Of course, they've got Kevin Durant after we gave it to him, but they actually have quite a squad. Zubac, KD, Schroeder, but we sweep them in that first round, and now we're going against our nemesis, us. Guy who beats us every year, Luka Doncic. It's got him, Sabonis, Kyle Filipowski, a 73 overall small forward. Who is that? Devin Carter from the recent NBA draft. All right, game 1. We take game 1. They got game 2. We got game 3. They got 4. We got 5. We got 6. Okay, we're in the conference finals. Here we go against those San Antonio Spurs, who we beat twice in this rebuild. But this is a few years down the line. Who's on this Spurs team? Wemby, Shohan, Delton. It's the same exact team, except they got Wallace Candy at the top now. Oh, and they lost Vassell. Feel like we should. I mean, they're the 6th seed. They beat those Mavs without Luka. All right, they take game 1 by 2 points. They take game 2. They take game 3. Don't tell me we get swept. We get swept. Wow. Okay. Hey, next year was always meant to be the year. It wasn't meant to be this year. And the Spurs sweep the Celtics in the finals too. Durant retires. Of course, we traded our draft pick again, as I do. I tend to not build around these young guys too much. All right, we're gonna try to bring Chris Murray back on a 1-year, $10.8 million deal. I don't think he's gonna take it. He does not take it, so we're gonna have to renounce that. We actually have enough cap space to offer Keldon Johnson a deal. Maybe he takes it. He does. Okay, that's actually an upgrade for us. So we didn't end up adding to our bench, but we did improve our bench with that signing. And obviously our team is pretty young, so Jokic is good. Troye is a 90. Maxey and Troye. We got a squad. I'm feeling pretty good about this. Our bench is still very bad. I'm hoping it's not going to be a problem. I'm going to go to the trade deadline real quick. Just see if our team is still pretty good. If it's good, I'm just going to roll with it. I still think this is a title team with how much star power we have. Depth be damned. All right, wow. So right before the trade deadline, we are 42-7. So we're 22-7 since starting 20-0, but still just an amazing season so far. Yeah, I mean, we have the best record in the NBA by quite a bit. I don't think I'm going to make any changes. We've got the stars. We've got the studs. We're going to simulate the season. And let's win the Warriors a chip, man. Let's do it. We went 69-13. Jokic, another MVP. 69-win season. I think this has to be the year. Troye, I cannot say this guy's name. 2nd team All-NBA. Jokic, 1st team, obviously. We've got the Phoenix Suns here in round 1. The Suns, they got Darius Garland. Filipowski. This team is kind of mid, which means they're probably going to beat us. I don't want to be a pessimist, but I feel like it's always these random teams. Like, how? We won 69 games. How are we dropping? How are we down 3-2? How are we down 3-2? How? Come on, we can win a road game. We are getting obliterated. 69-win team. I mean, and I know the Warriors, they set regular season. Wow, we barely won. They set these records and then they just lose. But I feel like, you know, this is the Jokic Warriors now. This is a different Warriors team. We don't do that anymore. We don't do that. We don't kick the other team in the balls and get suspended and lose game 6 because of idiocracy. Okay, I had to do all that to make it to the 2nd round. Going against the Dallas Mavericks, we know they lost Luka. They still have Kyrie. They have Dalton Connect and De'Aaron Fox. This is a pretty good team. They take game 1 by 1 point. We take game 2. Come on. We were a 69-win regular season team. There is literally, wow, we're down 3-2 again. What is going on? How are we we were absolutely dominant and now we can't hold a candle to these teams. Okay, going to a game 7 again. Here we go. Please at home. Please at home. Please me at home. Okay, we won the first 3 quarters. All right, scary. We cannot go down 3-2 again. Okay, we beat this Kings team last year. They got Luka, they got Gigi, they had Sabonis. Sabonis is worse. His overall went down. Feels like a series we should win. All right, please. We take game 1. Finally, we win a game 1. We win game 2. They got game 3. Okay, it's Luka. We're up 3-1. We're up 3-2. It's a game 7. Oh my goodness. Luka Doncic is probably the one guy I don't want to play in a game 7, but we have Nikola Jokic. Come on. And this is the blowout we needed. No. Okay, finally, we're going to the NBA Finals for the first time in this rebuild to finish it off against the Miami Heat. This Heat team, their best player is Jalen Duren. They're playing a double big with Bam Adebayo and Jalen Duren. That is a bit scary. I know the double big lineups in 2K are pretty darn dominant in the sim engine, but I feel like we can win this one. All right, game 1. We take game 1. They take game 2. We take 3. Every game has been a blowout so far. We win that one in a blowout as well, and we win the chip. All right, we have done it. We have brought the Warriors another championship. Nikola Jokic. I mean, this team looks completely unlike like the actual Warriors team. We don't have a single player from today's Warriors, but I mean, that's kind of natural when you're at the end of an era, moving into the next era. We tried to make it work with Kuminga. It didn't work. We picked up Maxey. We picked up Troye. We picked up Jokic in free agency. We made it work. Crazy. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this rebuild, click right here to watch my San Antonio Spurs rebuild. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.